Fielding, and this week I've brought my team out to a fortress, a place that once housed thousands of soldiers and prisoners, but is now only home to phantoms and lost souls. Welcome to Most Haunted and Fort Delaware. Fort Delaware was originally constructed as a harbour defence facility in 1859. During the American Civil War that raged from 1861 to 1865, the fort was used as a prison for Confederate soldiers. Over these years, around 33,000 prisoners were held at the fort. Up to 2,500 of these never left, dying, many as a result of illness brought on by the atrocious conditions in which they were incarcerated. Others during perilous breaks for freedom. Surrounded by a moat, the fort is situated on the marshy Pea Patch Island in the Delaware River. The strong currents of the river meant that escape was virtually impossible. However, that did not deter many of the inmates from trying. Those who died at the fort, either through disease or misadventure, were transported across the Delaware River on a death boat to a mass burial ground at Finns Point, New Jersey. However, it is believed that although their bodies may rest outside the stronghold, their spirits are still captive within the confines of Fort Delaware, forever wandering in search of eternal rest. The area beneath the fort is shrouded in mystery, and some observers have suggested that punishment beatings may have taken place in this area. The reports by eyewitnesses that the spirit of an injured Confederate soldier lurks in its recesses would add weight to those claims. Deep groans are heard on occasion, and rocks are thrown by a malevolent poltergeist. Some reports indicate that the soldier appears to be dripping wet, which might indicate a failed escape attempt across the treacherous Delaware River that claimed many an escapee. Were his injuries inflicted in battle, or was he savagely beaten for attempting to flee his captors? The kitchen is surprisingly one of the hotspots for paranormal activity at the fort. A woman in what appears to be dressed in cook's clothing busies herself with her daily duties. Now, she's been sighted stirring pots and cleaning dishes, seemingly oblivious to the fact her earthly body has shuffled off this mortal coil. Her apparition is seen entering the pantry and disappearing as if into thin air. She's also been seen lifting a pot in the kitchen area before walking through a disused doorway that's been boarded up for over 60 years. Loud bangs and crashes echo throughout the fort with no plausible reason. So do soldiers still walk this place in death, or is it just a figment of people's imagination? We have 24 hours to find out. Given the eerie tales that are held within these walls, what can historian Leslie Smith tell us regarding its dark past?
Welcome to Fort Delaware on the mighty Delaware River. It's been considered for some years that there should be a fort built here, not least of all because it was to protect the area, but also to protect the amount of shipping that came through. So in the late 1700s, an idea was formed that a fort should be built. It was really for military purposes, a great and mighty fortress, which it was, in a place with the extraordinary name as Pea Patch Island. Doesn't sound very threatening, does it? But when you look at this extraordinary fortress, you realise what a big place it was. In 1862, its relationship with its own nation changed, because at that point it became a Confederate prison because of the terrible civil war that raged through this nation. Prisoners were brought here at first just in the hundreds, and then in the thousands. And by the time the last prisoner was released, in 1866, just those few years, it had seen over 32,000 prisoners here. The ones who tried to escape tried all sorts of methods and were sometimes shot, although the numbers of people that were shot here are thought to be fewer than 20. but others drown most terribly. People would go to the sea wall, go to the privies, and literally dive through the seat. And that's because below was the Delaware River, and plunge in and try desperately to get to the other side. And virtually all were lost. We think very few truly escaped unless they managed to get a boat.
The Most Haunted team have conducted investigations into prisons on many occasions, but Fort Delaware is unlike any jail we have been to before. I'm keen to ask parapsychologist Dr. Kieran O'Keefe what his initial thoughts are concerning this ghostly garrison. So Kieran, do you think that this enormous place could possibly be haunted?
Well, it certainly has the potential. When you think about the thousands and thousands of people that would have been here, the POWs and the anxiety, the pain and suffering that they would have gone through, it would make logical sense that it's haunted. The eyewitness accounts too, that gives a lot of evidence for it actually being haunted, but I think we're going to be the ones that'll find out.
Other paranormal activity that occurs here on a regular basis, what sort of things are they?
Well, the most intriguing thing that we've never come across before is in the kitchen. There's the apparition of a lady that's seen in the kitchen who interacts with the pots and pans, even lifting the lid off an actual pot, but then walking out of the kitchen through the doorway without even opening the door. So she's interacting with a material object, but then she dematerializes through another object. And it's very strange because any of the apparitions that we've encountered before, they either interact with all objects or they don't interact with any. And here we've got kind of a half and half situation, and it's been seen by a number of different people. And I find that the most intriguing out of all the phenomena here.
It sounds to me like she's going on a loop, isn't she? She's just like a recording.
Exactly. It's evidence for stone tape theory, water tape theory, whatever you want to call it. It's like a video recording. She's doing the same thing all the time, and there's something about that doorway that maybe it was open all the time when she was in the kitchen, but hopefully it's something we can capture on tape. That would be the Holy Grail.
Now later on, obviously the public aren't going to be here and it's going to be very, very quiet. It's very stormy here today. It looked like the end of the world at one point. We've had lightning and thunder and rumbling and all that sort of stuff. And I suppose one of the locations would be in the tunnels, and if you were to hear that rumbling, you could possibly misinterpret that for something really quite frightening and possibly paranormal.
Yes, because again the sound is going to be distorted in the tunnels. You're going to get a reverberation effect, but at least the team is hearing it during the day, so they're just aware of it and they can immediately discount that sound.
I think we're going to be in for a good evening.
I think it's going to be great.
Joined by medium and psychic artist Brian Shepherd, the Most Haunted team prepare to investigate Fort Delaware. Brian has already sketched the image of a spirit he believes languishes in the fort's tunnel area. What lies in wait for us over the coming hours of our vigil? I've just had the coldest, iciest breeze come right...
Yeah, a prisoner who indeed did escape.
The Most Haunted team have travelled to America to conduct a paranormal investigation into the formidable Fort Delaware, situated on an island in the Delaware River. Joined by parapsychologist Kieran O'Keefe and medium Brian Shepherd, we begin our inspection of the prison with a lit walk-around. It's very colourful in here, isn't it?
It is very colourful. With all the red tables and the flags, and red, white and blue everywhere. It's brilliant, isn't it?
It's really, really good. You get a flavour for what, you know, what went on here.
Well, you know, listen almost. A mess hall. It's tables laid out, you can imagine men sitting around them. you know, almost getting the smell of food. You know,
yeah.
it's like that, really.
So it's really coming through, and you're just picking up on the memory of what would have gone on in
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I'm certainly not getting anything that I could say is like specific at the moment, you know, but that, a sort of residual, a memory of it, you know, the busyness of it.
So there's nothing here that's haunting at the moment?
Well, not for me at the moment. I'm just getting that kind of imagery.
Right, okay. Should we go in here, the kitchen?
Sure. Picking up on specific. I just feel busyness, maybe a woman.
Right.
Cooking.
Yeah.
Once again, someone serving on the men outside. This is such a general feeling now, okay? I'm not being, as I say, overly specific. I'm not suggesting a name in any way. But just trying to give you what I'm getting, you know, a picture, basically.
I've just had the cold. Feel my arm.
It's cold.
I've just had the coldest, iciest breeze come right like that.
Just from
there.
Let me just check what's behind there, if I can. It's just another room. It's just yeah, it's just that there's a small window which actually adjoins.
Would it have been?
It feels warm in here. Actually.
It was free.
It feels warm in here.
Would it have been a pantry or something? Maybe, I don't know.
It could be, but it's actually warmer in there than it is in here.
So there was no real reason that you would have gotten a cold draft from.
No, nobody moved. Nobody.
Here.
No. It's very strange. So what would she do? This woman, she would just come in here, and would she do anything? Would she be centred around anywhere?
I feel stronger about, you know, the fact that she was cooking. Okay, so this was, you know, a cook, a chef, or whatever. But there's also an interaction between someone else. I'll say maybe a serving lady. I don't think there's just one woman. I think there were at least a couple.
Yeah.
Okay. Waiting on the tables and whatever. But
do you see what she looks like? Is she an elderly, a more older lady?
Yeah, older lady. I would say, you know, mid to late 50s. Yeah. Okay. Robust.
Yeah.
Full skirted.
Yeah.
And an apron. Okay, I see that. Yeah. I hear that. I just hear the noises that she's making. Just daily routine stuff, to be honest.
All right, well, let's hope she makes those daily routine noises later on. Yeah. So we can catch them.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I think it's, you know, worthy of further investigation.
Let's go back that way.
Yes.
Right, this is going to be very interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, especially with the lights off later on.
Yeah, the tunnels.
It'll be very dark in here.
Yeah, a totally different feel from where we've just been.
Oh, true.
And I love it because Brian just goes very quiet when we go into some places that are a bit dark and dingy.
Come on, I just want to soak up, you know.
I know.
And ascertain if there's anything here that's...
Okay, well, I'm going to talk to Kieran while you soak up.
Okay,
right.
interesting.
This is where we've got to be really careful. We've done a lot of investigations in tunnels and underground before.
Yeah.
So we kind of know to sort of remember not to get too excited because a lot of it is reverberation of our own voices.
Yeah, especially if you're hearing footsteps behind you. The important thing is to stop and turn around. If you still hear the footsteps after you've stopped, then run. But if you're hearing them as you walk along, it's going to be just the echo of your footsteps bouncing behind you.
Have you managed to soak anything up yet?
There's something to be explored. There is a presence here somewhere.
In my mind, because I really don't know what these tunnels were used for. Do you have any idea what they were used for?
Well, at the moment, I just, you know, feel people marching. Whether they be, I don't even know if they're cells or what. You know, I really don't, any more than you in a sense.
Okay.
But I think we should just, you know,
keep
push
going.
on a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Go on then. Got that way. Are you getting any closer to?
I feel now. I felt marching before. Someone striding, okay, purposely, and now I feel more captive, prisoner. You know. And also, you know, a bit of tragedy thrown in. prisoner escape. Yeah, a prisoner who indeed did escape, I think, but met with a sticky end, you know, met with tragedy in doing so.
Right. How did he die?
Water. Of course, the river.
Right.
Swimming. Got into the river to swim, maybe. And drowned. Arthur.
Yeah.
I'm happy with Arthur.
Are you happy with Arthur?
Whiteside.
Okay.
Arthur Whiteside.
Okay.
Arthur Whiteside.
Okay, and he is definitely here haunting.
He's here. Very much haunting.
Can you tell me, how was he an old gentleman, a young gentleman?
Young.
Young?
From what I can see, and it's difficult there. It is difficult but from what I can see of him and his movement, I would say definitely a younger man.
Okay.
All right. Now,
do you want to go into another area?
Let's have a look around.
Oh, look at
Yes,
that!
certainly.
Look at that through there. God, it just goes on and on and on,
Doesn't it?
This is a really long tunnel.
Goodness. Yeah.
This is going to be so creepy later on.
It will be.
Do you think that we would get? I know the answer to this. I don't even know why I'm asking you.
Rhetorical question?
Yeah. Since we've been here, we've known that a lot of the American people call them shadow people. Do you think we're going to get down this long corridor here, shadow people?
Yes, I think we do. With the moonlight especially coming in, and if other people are on the vigil, you're going to get shadows. You're going to get, as light comes through these different windows. But it's a tunnel exactly like this, where they picked up the thermal image figure. They had a thermal imager like that,
Yeah.
and they saw somebody peek out from behind a wall.
Okay.
But again, I say somebody because I'm cynical about it and think it might have just been another person.
Okay.
Anything in this particular area?
I just have this feeling that, you know, someone walks this
Not
corridor.
Arthur, somebody different.
No, somebody different.
Oh, okay.
Somebody different.
Okay, we'll find out later on. Let's bring Leslie in now. Leslie, just want to find out, you know, we've had names, we've had, you know, dates also to do with the kitchen where we first went into, this ghost, this lady. How are we doing?
Remarkably well. In fact, I'm a bit shaken, to be honest,
really?
because there's some information that's just come through from Brian. Firstly, I'd like to address the kitchen, if I may, and say that it's been talked about for some time that a woman in black with an apron on of mature years is working in there and has been seen by people in there. So that's one thing I'd like to say, and the smell of cooking, which is something you talked about, and this cold breeze that many of you felt.
Oh, really?
That's also recorded as one of the historical, shall we say, ghost experiences. I, as a historian, you know, different view of it necessarily. Then we come upstairs. This was to house Confederate prisoners of war, of course, this place was. And the thing that's knocked me about is Brian's comment about this man, Arthur. And the reason it has is in my hand is a document which is not something easily accessible, which has been scrupulously put together of over 2,000 people who died here during the time they were held over the few years. There were 33,000 people here, and over 2,000 died here for various reasons, including trying to escape. Amongst them, which has knocked me about really, because it was incredible that you should say so, was an A.H. Whiteside, who died on the 15th of November 1863 from drowning.
From drowning? There you go.
Now look at the size of this.
All of that. What do you say to that?
That's very impressive.
It was.
Well, I think we should turn the lights off, get cracking, and hopefully we might get in contact with Arthur.
Okay.
That would be
Shall we try
brilliant.
that?
Yeah, come on.
Our initial exploration of the prison has revealed some very interesting characters, with Brian feeling the presence of a number of prisoners, notably the spirit of Arthur Whiteside, whom Brian believes died trying to escape from Fort Delaware, as well as the spirits of people who worked here. Will Arthur or any of the other spirits Brian has picked up on manifest themselves before us tonight as we switch to night vision? The Most Haunted team are in America investigating the very eerie Fort Delaware. We have already explored the fort in daylight and are now about to conduct our first night vision vigil. Kieran, Carl and Brian make their way to the tunnel area where they hope to make contact with the spirits thought to reside there.
Is anyone here? Any spirit entity? Any lost soul?
That's going to sound stupid. I just felt that someone had walked from my right. You see through this arch here, from my right through between you and I. Yeah, just see what drawing from that direction round here. I mean, you know, like that. Okay. Nail, yeah. Starting with a purpose. You know, I've sent something there. I'd just like to look at it a bit further.
What's this? I always love it when something says closed, no entry. I'll go down a 30-foot drop now. It's wet, the floor's a bit wet. So that just proves you can see where the leak is leaking. You all right, Brian?
Well, either I tripped and set sideways or something. Something pushed against my back.
Is anything here? Any astral, any spirit entity? If something just walked past Brian, if you hear, make a sound.
If there's a spirit present now, any being, any astral being, spirit present, I thought just now that I'd been pushed. Was it by you? If there is a spirit, make yourself known to us now. I'm here with friends. We come as friends.
And you're not happy we're here because we're from Great Britain.
In fact, forget what you just said. We're enemies. I don't come here as a friend. I don't come here as a friend at all. And if that's enough for you to actually do something and show me that you're there, that's good timing.
That's good timing. See, that's the difference between coincidence and people believing in paranormal activity. There's quite a few would probably.
With Brian feeling the presence of something not of this time and place, we decide to regroup. As the investigation continues on into the night, will we be faced by the ghosts that are said to haunt this place? The Most Haunted team are investigating America's Fort Delaware. Used during the American Civil War as a prison for Confederate soldiers, medium Brian Shepherd has already picked up on the spirit of Arthur Whiteside, who, incarcerated here, died in 1863. Hoping to make contact with the spirits Brian has sensed, we all make our way to the fort's kitchen. This is the place Brian picked up on the spirit of a woman, whom he believes to be a cook.
Brian, is anyone here?
We've got a lady. Cooking.
What was that?
Heard that.
What was that?
Heard that.
What was that?
Heard that. Hello?
Sounds like a bloke.
What's up? What's the matter? What's the matter?
Right near the stove.
Have we got a name for this woman? Bessie Smith? Bessie? Could be Les. Yeah, I'm sure it's Les.
Oh, no.
Bessie, if that's your name, can you make a noise, sweetheart, please? Where? Oh, did you hear that? Where? Oh. Where? Oh, sounded like it came from near you, Brian.
From near?
Near you. Bessie. Is the table moving?
I left it really well.
Oh, it was you that moved it, that creaked it?
Yeah, but I left it just
Over near Les.
There's a coal next to me.
Oh, it's moving. The table's moving. Put your hand on the table.
Bessie, come on, darling.
She's leaning against the table.
It's moving.
Bessie, we're not looking to come into your area and invade.
Who just made that banging noise? Who just made the banging noise?
I'm clear.
I'm clear of the table.
Right.
I'm still.
Okay.
Bessie? Is that you? Is she close to us, Brian?
And again.
Where?
Just past her. Once again.
Is she in the room now? By the window?
She's just disappeared.
Okay, Bessie, if you're here, please do something else for us. We're not after parlour tricks. What's that? What's going on?
Are you alright? Are you alright, Brian? What did you do?
His torches in pieces.
His throat, my back.
His torches are broke.
It's a flask. It's a Hessian flask. It's on the side. It's been thrown at him. Look, look.
Well,
He says, that's what he says
Just a
himself.
thump in the back, just a thump right in the back.
you couldn't have caught yourself.
No.
Sure.
I've got nothing to catch. Oh,
That's just it. It wasn't off the ceiling, you see. It's off the shelf.
the torch is broken.
Are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm okay.
You're alright, look, Brian.
No. Seriously, and the torch is going.
Look how interesting it is, because the flasks are here.
Yes, but what I'm saying is
Could you have caught it at the side of him?
Could have caught it with anything. Right.
What was that?
I don't know, just moved behind me.
Believing that we are starting to get a response from some of the spirits said to haunt this place, we decide to expand our investigation. Carl, Brian and myself investigate the officers' mess, while Stuart, Leslie and Kath venture downstairs in order to conduct a vigil in the Fort Delaware tunnels.
Confederates, come forward. We respect you. We ask you, brothers of your belief, of your families in the South, come forward. I know you saw yourselves almost as a separate... Is it yourself?
It might be the camera. Is it not moving the camera?
There's a black shape of a man moved into the shape and then out again. But he looked like he had a hat on. So it didn't look as if it were you. No, that's you. That's your shadow. I've got that.
Yeah?
Yeah? There was something else.
Right, well that would have been me that first
But
time
it-
round then, would it? Oh no, I don't know.
You haven't got a hat on, Stu. It looked like something on his head.
Okay.
So that was quite exciting.
Okay.
I'm not shaking.
Yeah, I have too. Yeah,
I can feel my body shaking.
Go on.
Are you here?
Please come close to us.
Try and lift the table if you can, sir. And lift the plates, lift the paper plate. Just the end of the table, something. For those of you caught in the epidemic of '63, and for those of you who suffered most terribly with scurvy, when your food had not been brought to you, We're sorry for your pain and suffering. Please rap once if you're here. Give us some sign. Rattle the windows.
What's that?
What the hell was that?
What was that? What was
That was the sound of chains. Or money.
I've just heard it again.
Or money in a bag.
No, it's chains over there.
Where,
I
Leslie?
thought it was behind us.
Heard it.
I thought it was that way.
I heard chains.
Is anyone down there?
At the back.
Go in. Here.
All right, Leslie.
Sorry, yeah, I like my heart and my head.
Look at this here. I'm a married man. Hey?
I saw her, she was very
Are
frightened.
there any more pigeons and bats? If so, fly around and get it out of your system.
Chains again.
Well, being funny, but where are you out?
Leslie, the chains.
Look. Which way
What's
is
the
out?
corridor? Is that a black
That's not the way out.
Is that a black
Look at that at the end of the corridor. Hold on.
Hold on. Is that a black figure?
Calf.
Keep still.
Stay where you are. Don't move.
Who's this to? Robert, do you want some more? Do you want someone to take you away from the pain of war? Let us help you, Robert. Any soldier here, any entity here, wants release of their pain. Do it. All right. Put that gun down.
There's a figure down there, it's moving towards us. Cat lights are going out. I think we better get the out of here.
I think we had, hadn't we?
I know, not fast.
Cat,
Just hang fire just for a
there
second.
is a black shape down there.
Oh, what are you running away from it?
Well, all right then. You go down and look. Go on.
No.
Stop, Paul.
Have you just been poking me?
No.
Leslie, have
No.
you just been poking
I
my
swear
arm?
I have not been poking your arm.
You're going back into the bloody pigeon place.
Wait a minute, what's that black figure though at the end, seriously?
There isn't a
There is a bloody black figure. That's what we were seeing, that open doorway, wasn't
Where?
it?
Is that
Yeah.
a ranger? How's it gone?
What was it? Was it a bat?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the influence last day about. I don't think 2,000 people died here. How many of them must still be here? I can't so it seemed to raise an arm with a pistol in it. And towards the window? No, toward us.
Oh, to cause problems.
Oh, I see.
And then just seemed to drift past and disappear to when we left.
Those sort out the door.
Yeah. Or just disappeared.
Oh, my torch is going.
Right, let's go.
And this is an LED as well. It shouldn't do that. It's brand new.
Shoot, the
Cost me
battery.
bloody $25. This shit.
Shoot, the battery's going on me. You need to stay close because my
We've
battery's
had
going,
batteries going
and this torch
constantly
is
all
going
day
out.
long, and batteries have been charged up.
Bollocks.
The creaking of the table and the ominous black shape witnessed by Stuart, Leslie and Kath lead us to believe that there are forces at play here that are as yet unexplainable. Will other forces come into play tonight as we carry on our investigation into this most haunted of forts? The Most Haunted team are carrying out an investigation into America's historic Fort Delaware. An earlier vigil conducted by Leslie, Brian and Kath into the fort's tunnels revealed some very strange phenomena. Carl and Stuart are now hoping to gather conclusive evidence of the paranormal as they investigate the same area.
It's getting pretty late. And shoot, I've gone off with sort of a couple of other groups tonight. And, keep hearing things. Yeah, so we thought we'd come off on our own. Now we've come to a bit that no one else would come into. What was that?
Just heard it is.
Where from?
From down there, it sounded like it came from down there.
You here? Oh, bat. Have you done it now?
I wouldn't go down there.
No.
To go. Please tell us to. We will.
What the was that?
That came right from there, Carl. From near that ladder.
What the was that? What the was that? Or was that more of a tingly sound than that? That was fairly dull, wasn't it?
I'll do it on the floor. That's what it sounded like. That's exactly what it sounded like.
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't want us here, tell us and we'll go. If you want us to stay, tell us and we'll stay. We'll talk to you. What the is that again?
Yeah, I know, I just heard it.
How scared you want to go? One to ten.
Hey? 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 I was about to say 10.
What the Where was that from?
It was definitely right, Carl.
Yeah.
Well, what I think I saw was here.
What did you see?
Something going across. Because I did have the torch on. That's how I know I saw something. This is an LED, it's a lot brighter, you see.
Okay, if you're here, please do something. Say something to us.
It was almost like something doing this. Looked like a dark shape.
If it went in that way, if it went this way, let's go and have a look. Come on, if you see, I don't accept, get out. Come on. You don't scare us. You don't scare us. You don't scare us. What the
Right, what do you think that's at?
Stu, the trouble is, I might be interpreting it sounds like get out.
Get out. Exactly.
Twice we got down there and there.
We continued to investigate this foreboding fort until the last shadows of night retreated into daylight. Once again, we have had the pleasure of investigating an historic building believed to be haunted by the ghosts of its past. But what has Dr. Kieran O'Keefe made of tonight's investigation into Fort Delaware?
I was particularly excited about Most Haunted's investigation of Fort Delaware. Here was a fantastic location where hundreds of thousands of people had either been incarcerated or worked there, and also a location that had been investigated many times before, a place that we could really get our teeth into.
What's that?
Heard that.
Yvette, Leslie, Kath and Brian conducted a vigil kind of around the kitchen area. A flask actually hit Brian on the back.
What's that? What's going on?
You hear a loud bang, and I think the bang might actually be Brian's torch as he dropped it, although I'm not 100% sure about that. However, we're dealing with an object that has been thrown as if by unseen hands. But parapsychologists at the end of the day are always looking for evidence of an object being thrown, but they want video footage of the object from the start to the end. Leslie, Kath and Stuart decided to go into the tunnels. They heard the sound of chains, which is rather surprising.
What's that?
What the hell was that?
What was that? What was
That was the sound of chains.
The most interesting thing that happened on this vigil for me is that a black figure was seen at the end of the corridor.
Just hang fire just for a second.
There's a black shape down there. Oh, well, you go away from it.
Well, all right then. You go down and look. Go on.
It's difficult to decide whether or not this figure was actually captured on film. We've certainly got the accounts of the people involved in the vigil, but actual footage of it is another thing. The most significant piece of phenomena that occurred throughout the whole investigation was when Stuart and Carl were conducting a lone vigil and they heard the voice, "Get out." This is a good piece of evidence because we've got both Stuart and Carl on camera and can see that they're not responsible for the voice. We can't discount the possibility that there might be somebody hiding in the shadows, actually making that voice and messing about. However, Carl and Stuart did their best to ensure that there was nobody playing tricks on them. I, for one, am impressed with Most Haunted's investigation of Fort Delaware.